Hey, here's Joe again, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable, where this time around we want to follow all the directions that we get from the narrator. Of course, we're
all
still
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
gonna try
Stanley
to
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
do
simply
all
missed
this
a
stuff.
memo.
Can we please just go into one of the rooms at some point?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
That's new. So probably it does at some point. At some point the door just opens. Ah, okay. Nothing here, and then we should be coming up to the decision. Left door.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're just following directions for now. Into this room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Don't
Stanley
get
decided to
fired,
go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, immediately boss office. Okay. Executive bathroom. Now I'm super interested. There's the boss. It's the bathroom. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. Extreme bathrooms. And Time magazine, of course. Can't interact with everything here, anything here. Okay, good. You. Okay. The boss's office. Okay, let's see.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okay. 2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, that's super dark. Do we go to the executive room with all the monitors now?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yeah, I read that right. A mind
Stanley
control
walked straight
facility.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape? Yeah, mind control facility. I want to see. This is the room with all the screens. Those are just random numbers.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
These screens do anything? No. Okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Fired.
Their true nature revealed.
104 is
Each
fired.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The
Where are
lives
we?
of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one
Where
of
are
them,
we?
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There. Show me 427. That's just my room. Oh, down there. That smiley face. 430. 430. Okay, let's go into 430. And 601 is fired. Anything else that's interesting? Oh, okay, no. There's another one that's exactly the same. Okay, so probably not that important, okay? What else?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
It is.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
How do we turn it on? Not here. Can't activate it. Can't see shit. Can I enter the staircase? Nah, it's blocked. Okay. So there's another way into this room that we'll find out about later. That's number 2. I want to find number 1. There's a button labeled 5. There. That's 3. Okay. 1. 2. 3 was over there. 4. Button 4. Where's button 4? That's 5. We'll go to the facility power in a second. Where's button 4? That's button 5. Where's button 4? Not here, apparently. Oh my god, is it freaking dark. It doesn't help that it's all dark. Oh, up there. Can't go through here. So I assume that gets unlocked as soon as we activate the power. So let's go to the power. Mind control idle awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay. I said follow the inputs for today. But we'll do the same thing again, but with turning it on directly afterwards.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Did we? Did we? I can't see shit over here. Did we step? Ah, yes. Probably yes.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
That's the end? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, we had 4 out of 5. I just try to interact with everything I can. And this door. I want to open that door. Okay, left.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Okay.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, there's no like diverging paths here. We just go down into the mind control facility and turn it on. Because we want to learn more about this stuff. And there's also the escape route.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Just turn it on this time.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Let's do it for the last time.
One of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all
Where's
this
the
time?
pirate?
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes, can we please continue?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Yeah, this
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Of course,
oh,
that
0,
was merely
5 to 1.
in this instance of the story.
We don't have
Sometimes when I tell it, I
Press.
simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Power search?
But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
What?
Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Dark blue.
These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
Yeah, I saw the door.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Big red button.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown
I
to
don't know
pieces.
the red button.
Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
He couldn't even speak to the end. The problem is that means that we have to go through the sequence quite a number of times. Probably do something else
All
instead.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I'm always
Stanley
looking into
decided to go
that
to the meeting
corner
room. Perhaps he had
because I
simply
think the
missed a
computer
memo.
will turn up there and it's just not.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
No input, computer, okay. Then let's continue this way.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's follow the escape route.
Yet
I don't
there
know
was
how to
not a single
deactivate the
person
bomb
here
because I don't
either.
understand
Feeling
those
a
clues
wave
yet.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You? No.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway.
Okay.
Quelle surprise.
Yeah, we know all that now. I want to follow the escape way down there now. The problem is the game's loaded everywhere. Like, there's like
Stanley
50
walked straight
branches.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, let's follow
Although
these.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
You certain? I
The
don't
door
think so.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
And now? Violent death, they said. Okay, let's jump in.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Ouch.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Aha. Stanley. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless. making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
The button sounds. Selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Aha. We are in a museum. The two doors. The set of two doors that was the very first concrete piece of Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Stanley's computer, of course, and all the nature paintings. Filing cabinets, office computers, the credits. Crows, crows, crows. Oh god, which way? Let's go the left. The maintenance room. Okay, fun. The lounge, the office, the apartment timer. Which apartment? In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Which apartment ending? The cargo lift. Huh? Meeting room. One option, two options. The other entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. The confusion ending and event from the maintenance to lounge. Okay. Okay, they were thinking about different designs about that maintenance room. I know which one they're talking about there. Zending levers. These levers were originally part of the zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color he had pulled. Don't remember that. What's zending? What's that even? The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as zending, which was the ending, which was eventually cut and merged with other parts of the game. The ending. Fourth version. And we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. The game is now paused. Begin the game again, resume the game, option returns to menu. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone, so they have put it in again. I'm completely confused. This is too mazy. Trailers. We are in 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012. I don't have any sound. Okay. Then that way. Okay. Monitor room, elevator. The countdown room, an early version of the countdown room. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Freedom ending. We've seen that. This goes to exit. Okay, we have this way still. This is the other set of stairs, yeah? Which other set of stairs? Where are we? The office clock? Uh-huh. Boss's office, different iterations, but we have a back path here. Lounge. Underground mind control facility, and we have here the narration outtakes.
Shoot. Well, try the other one then. Stanley stood on the snow. Stanley jumped in the river.
Yeah, there's some outtakes. This is all interesting, but some of the endings they are referring to I didn't even have yet. We had the freedom ending though, which is if you just follow the directions of the narrator all the way through. Game design mockup, okay. Then let's follow this ending, the museum ending. This is obviously on off.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
There's actually a path back. Okay, let's turn off the Stanley Parable.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I wanted to see this. Okay. I assume that there's no other ending if I press quit, because that will just restart the day. Back here. That's the last input. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. We press the buttons. The button heaven. It fades slowly, or doesn't? Does it fade because I pressed more buttons? Yeah, I think pressing more buttons. The more buttons I press, the less my vision becomes. Yeah, we can barely see. Or the maybe the vision is the same, like the fog denseness is the same, but we're like pushing away the walls. I'm just trying to press as many buttons as possible. Okay, so we don't need to look at those computers anymore because we freaking finally got the button heaven ending. Can we freaking have this? Can this piece go anywhere and not infinitely repeat itself? Would be very appreciated if you could go anywhere, game. I think we're done with this. Okay, so with this button heaven, we reach another infinite ending, which I think, yes, of course it's infinite. That's what it all was about the entire time. Okay, so we're seeing us tomorrow with some other decisions. We went the escape path. I don't know how to do the countdown thing, so maybe I'm thinking about it in the off time between the episodes. But if I don't come up with a proper solution on how to do that, we're not gonna go back to the countdown room anymore. So we go instead through the right door, and try to follow directions there with the cargo elevator, looking which other ending the cargo elevator leads us to. We can jump off the elevator to the very bottom instead of to the mid-rail thing, and then we can also just take the elevator and let him take us to another ending. So that's what we're going with tomorrow. Have a nice day and see you with that.